I feel like a lot of people on the right and on the alt-right in particular are very proud and they don't like to admit it when they backed the wrong guy. They do not like to admit it at all. And I'm talking here about Doug Ford. Doug Ford is quite possibly the worst traitor in the history of right-wing politics. Doug Ford is actually much more extreme on the lockdown than Justin Trudeau. And I'm not seeing anybody fucking admit to this on the right. They keep pretending like, oh, it's Justin Trudeau who's imposing the lockdown. It's like, actually, well, he is, but like at the same time, Doug Ford wants stricter lockdown measures than what Justin Trudeau is imposing. And Doug Ford keeps going out of his way to criticize the federal Trudeau government for not being strict enough on the lockdown. Now, for those who don't know, Doug Ford is the Premier of Ontario, and he was elected basically on the platform that he would be like the Trump of Canada. Now, he's kind of like Trump. He's like a big, tough-looking, white, blonde, alpha male guy. Like, he kind of fits into that archetype. But he's no Trump at all. He's actually, on the issue of the lockdown, he's like a radical fucking leftist. He's like more extreme on the lockdown than most leftist politicians. He's calling for an absolute ban of all travel into Canada and all travel between provinces except that which is deemed the most essential. He's basically trying to shut down every single travel loophole that exists, and he's very aggressive about it. And he's also been very aggressive about trying to get police to pull people over for leaving their own fucking homes and neighborhoods. Now, and he also, even like fucking going outside, he's made it illegal to go to like fucking playgrounds and soccer fields. Like, he's imposing measures that are so strict that even the fucking healthcare establishment have come out and said this is going too far, with some of his measures on outdoor recreation. Even the police said they refused to impose these new random stops that he wanted, just randomly pulling over people, asking why they're outside. Why is Doug Ford this bad? I don't fucking know. Is he just on a power trip? Is it because he's a fat fuck and he wants everyone else to be a fat fuck like him? So he wants to force everybody to stay inside and be a fucking couch potato? I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, like, I'm actually a bit pissed at the right because nobody is fucking calling out this fucker like he deserves. Doug Ford is a Judas Iscariot level traitor. He is the worst fucking traitor imaginable. And you know what the Bible says about traitors? You know what Dante's Inferno says about traitors? It says that a traitor is worse than an open enemy. There's a reason why the worst level of hell is reserved for the traitors. And that is what Doug Ford is. Doug Ford is probably the worst fucking person on the planet right now, because you know what? I will take an open enemy over a fucking traitor. And that's what he is. He campaigned as like this conservative, like for the people, like, this populist figure. And now he's like the exact fucking opposite. He's like the strictest enforcer of the lockdown possible. He's the strictest enforcer of the elite agenda. In fact, he's such a strict enforcer of the elite agenda that he goes further than the elites themselves. He is so desperate to prove how strict he is on the lockdown that he's imposing measures that everyone else is coming out and saying, like, everyone on the left is coming and saying, oh, no, Doug, you're going a bit too far here. And he's actually, like, he's fucking getting in Trudeau's face for not being strict enough. And this goes completely against this right-wing narrative that, like, oh, the lefties are imposing the lockdown. It's like, well, I don't know, because Doug Ford was ostensibly a conservative, and yet he's worse than the left. And like, nobody's fucking admitting to this. Like, I'm like the only fucking person who is giving this fucking asshole the shit that he deserves. So fuck Doug Ford.